Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police with Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog breaking the trail in the relentless pursuit of lawbreakers in the wild days of the Yukon. Back to the days of the gold rush as Sergeant Preston with his wonder dog Yukon King meets the challenge of the Yukon. This is the Yukon, the territory patrolled by Sergeant Preston and others of the Northwest Mounted Police, whose lives were dedicated to the protection and welfare of life and property. Whitehorse, where the police maintained an important headquarters for operations in the territory, Jim Howard had completed his training and been made a constable. On his first assignment, he headed south to join the Border Patrol near Skagway. Within 2 hours after leaving Whitehorse, he saw 3 men camped near the trail for their midday meal.
That's a Mountie, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I better plug him.
Hold it, Hank. Maybe he'll pass us by without making any trouble.
Fat chance. Your face is on too many handbills.
If there's shooting, I'll do it.
Good morning. My name is Howard. Constable Howard.
How far you going, Constable?
White Pass. That's just this side of Skagway. I'm assigned to the Border Patrol there.
Much activity there?
Lots of it. We got to keep quite a few men on duty there. So many sourdoughs are coming in that...
What are you staring at, Constable?
Squint Baxter. Wanted for robbery and murder.
You'd like to arrest me, wouldn't you?
Better see if he's dead.
Don't bother. He'll freeze before he's found. Just get his gear and supplies. According to what he says, there'll be a lot of policemen around White Pass. We'll change our plans and head west.
Sergeant Preston, returning from White Pass and anxious to reach Whitehorse before the early darkness of winter, urged King to maintain a fast pace.
Jim Howard. Shot. Alive.
Jim.
Baxter. Squint Baxter. 2 pals shot me.
After Preston delivered the injured constable to the hospital at Whitehorse, he was unable to give King the scent of the outlaws. With fresh snow covering their tracks, Preston faced a difficult assignment. With rest periods held to a minimum, he guided his team back and forth across the area south of Whitehorse. He stopped at every cabin and talked to everyone he met, showing Baxter's picture on a handbill and asking questions. But no one had seen the scar-faced outlaw and his pals. After 3 days of futile search, he headed back to Whitehorse.
And I'm certainly glad to learn that Jim Howard's out of danger.
Yes, he'll recover all right. Though he'll be out of action for a long time. You know, it's too bad you didn't find Baxter and his partners. I was sure they'd head for the border.
Well, I'm still sure of it, sir, but reward notices in circulation, they don't dare stay in the Yukon.
Still, you never found any trace of them between here and White Pass.
Well, they may have decided that the southern border was too heavily patrolled and changed their plans. Sir, I'd like permission to continue on the case, to extend my search to the west.
You know that the outlaws have a 3-day lead on you.
Yes, I know. And according to Jim Howard, they're traveling on foot. My team should be able to overtake them before they reach the border.
Very well, Preston. We want those men. Get them. Now, you'll probably make inquiry at the town of Crossover.
I thought about that. Squint and his men may get supplies there.
By the way, Constable Howard's parents live just about a mile this side of
I
town.
know right where it is, right on there. I've been to their house.
I wrote to them 3 days ago to report that their son had been injured. If you can find the time, stop and tell them that Jim's out of danger.
Sir, that's the message I'd be happy to deliver. Goodbye.
2 days later, while Preston was still on his way to Crossover, Jim's father, a trapper, made his weekly trip to the town for supplies.
Hello, Gus.
Hi, Matt. How's the trapping?
Trapping's all right, but a pesky wolverine has been stealing from my trap line.
A wolverine, eh? They can really cause you trouble.
I know. But I'll get him. Gus, if I make a good catch this season, I'm going to buy a dog team.
You could use one, Matt. All right, now, come on. What are your needs?
Oh, I got a list here, someplace. Mary gave it to me. I don't need much this week.
Never mind. Here it is, right in the usual place. Your wife's handwriting again. I thought you told me she was teaching you to read and write.
Learning comes hard to a man at my age.
Yeah. What you need is somebody to stand over you and make you study, like you did with your son.
I got Jim educated, and that's what counts.
Yeah, here that boy of yours must be just about finished with his Mountie training.
By now, he's probably a full-fledged member of the force. It'll be a proud day for Mary and me when he comes home in his uniform.
I bet it will. Yeah, I guess that's all. I'll tote it up. Let me see. There's beans, cornmeal, there's sugar, and flour. Pardon me.
There's a letter in my mailbox.
Yeah, that's right. I clean forgot all about it. Postman brought this about 4 days ago. It's from Mountie headquarters, White Horse. Want I should read it for you?
No, thanks. Mary will read it when I get home. What do I owe you?
It's $5 even.
$5.
Thank you, man.
See you next week, Gus.
Next week.
Take a look at this. What's the idea? I'm just trying on the uniform we got out of Constable Howard's pack. Fits pretty good, huh? Maybe I should have joined the force.
How's the stew coming?
Be ready in a few minutes. That's the last of the meat. What's worse, we used the last of our coffee at noon.
That meat's half spoiled. What are you trying to do, poison me?
Well, if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you. Why,
You're getting too smart with that tongue lately, Hank.
I guess you're right, Squint. Just getting edgy.
We ought to get out of here. We'll stock up and head for the border tonight.
Tonight? I thought you said we wasn't going to leave this shack until we got another heavy snowfall to cover our tracks.
Snow's coming. There'll be plenty by morning. We'll go to Crossover, that's about 2 miles north of here, and get our supplies. You go with me, Hank.
What about eating?
We'll take care of that later. Pete, you get the gear ready to travel and have it ready when we get back. I'll make a list of what we need.
Don't forget we're out of coffee.
Coffee.
Hello, Matt. Supper will be ready in a minute.
Snowing again. Looks like we're in for another big one. How'd you like a letter from White Horse?
It must be from Jim.
What's the matter, Mary? Bad news? Something happened to Jim?
was from the inspector at the White Horse headquarters.
What's he say?
I regret to inform you that your son, Constable James Howard, has been wounded in the line of duty. Though his condition at this moment is considered critical, the surgeon is hopeful. I shall keep you informed and meanwhile add my prayers to yours for the full recovery of your son.
You know, Squint, maybe you should have stayed in the shack and sent Pete and me in after the grub. Because we're not mentioned in the reward notices.
This town's off the regular trail. Ain't likely anyone around here seen the handbill.
Hey, Squint, look. Do you mind? I won't be but a minute. Well, you're in buying the supplies. You'll be tied up for a while anyway, so...
Oh, all right. Don't be too long.
I'll see you in the store.
Evening, stranger.
Looks like I can stock up here.
You just state your needs. I'll fill them.
There's a lot of stuff on that list. I want it all fresh.
Everything I have is fresh. You think you can carry all of this?
I'll manage.
Some of these items I keep in the other room. Have to unlock the door. Got the keys right here in the drawer. Now, where in tarnation are those keys? Gotta clean some of the junk out of this drawer. Stick 'em up. You're Squint Baxter. You're worth $500 to me. Stick 'em up, I said. Next time, I'll put a bullet right through your face. Now undo your gun belt and let her drop. Come on. Do it slow, so you don't scare me and I'll shoot again.
Sounds like that shot came from the store. Come on.
Sit yourself down in that chair. Come on, sit down.
What happened, Gus?
Look, Tom, I got myself a reward. Here, take this rope and help me tie him up. That's Squint Baxter. I got his picture right there on a poster in my cash drawer.
Good thing there's a Mountie nearby.
What's this about a Mountie?
Oh, I'm sorry I spoke out like that, mister. I'm a stranger in town, and this is none of my business.
Well, all right, stranger. What about the Mountie?
Well, on my way here, I saw one making camp. He could take charge of the Crook.
How far is the camp?
Well, a couple of miles. I can't tell you how to get there, but I'll be glad to go get the Mountie for you.
Well, I'd be mighty obliged to you.
You know, I've often thought of joining the force. This would be a good way to get acquainted with a Mountie.
Just make it as fast as you can.
Right.
When you get him tied up, Tom, pick up his gun off the floor there and help me guard him. This critter's worth $500 to me. Now, all you fellas are witnesses. I captured him single-handed.
Hey, Pete, we're in trouble.
What are you talking about?
I caught Squint. Storekeeper pulled a gun on him.
Well, you and I gotta go and get him.
No, there's a whole crowd of people there.
All right, what do we do?
It's all arranged. Put the uniform on. You'll go as a Mountie.
I told you this thing had come in handy.
With Yukon King in harness adding his great strength to the team, Sergeant Preston called for long hours of work with brief periods of rest held to a minimum. He hoped to regain the time he had lost by making inquiries along the trail and to overtake the outlaws before they reached the border.
I hope you don't lose this crook before you get him to White Horse.
Don't worry, he'll be watched. Hank here will help me guard him.
You going to White Horse with the constable?
That's right. He's going to help me get on the force.
You're going to tie up his hands, ain't you?
Well, yeah, cut me off a piece of that rope.
What's wrong with using your handcuffs?
Well, he can see my wrist is wounded. Wouldn't be right to handcuff a man in my condition.
That wound ain't nothing but a mosquito bite. This critter's worth $500 to me, and I don't want to lose him. You better handcuff him. I'll get the supplies you ordered.
Well, let's have him, Baxter.
You jughead. Why did you have to handcuff me if you haven't got a key?
What else could I do without making everyone suspicious? All I was thinking about was getting you and the supplies out of there.
I can't travel handcuffed. Get 'em off.
I'm doing the best I can. Hold still.
Now we're stuck here. No nearer to getting those handcuffs off than we were when we started.
Yeah, and this Nibs is going to be in a bad mood when he wakes up.
Yeah, let him get mad. He's the one they want, not us.
What kind of talk is that?
Pete, do what you want to. I'm getting out of here.
You're going to stay here and sweat it out with us, or I'm going to blow the top of your head off.
I believe you would.
Yeah, I would.
Matt, worrying about Jim isn't going to help one bit. Please try to eat.
I've been thinking about going to Whitehorse.
But it's a long trip, Matt, especially on foot. And could you do anything for Jim when you got there?
I don't know. At least I'd be on hand to see that he got good care. There's a dog sled coming from the direction of Whitehorse.
Here, Matt.
Sergeant Preston.
Hello, Matt.
Did you come from Whitehorse?
Yes, I did. And I had some good news for you, too, about Jim. He's out of danger, and he's doing just fine. He'll be as good as new.
Glory be. Thank you, Sergeant. Come inside, we'll tell Mary.
So after finding no trace of the outlaws south of Whitehorse, I decided they'd headed west.
Find anyone who'd seen them between here and Whitehorse?
No, I haven't. They'll need food to continue their trip to the border. They may have bought it at the crossover.
That's only a mile west of here.
I know. I'll go there as soon as I finish this coffee.
Sergeant, I noticed your dog team. Those fellas look exhausted.
They are. They don't have the stamina the king has. I'd like to leave them here for a rest while I go into town on foot. Do you mind?
Of course not. I'll put them around and back.
Good. I'll be back in a little while.
I have to check my trap lines, but I'll probably be back about the same time you are.
It's a very fine breakfast, Mrs. Howard.
Thank you.
I'm getting tired of these handcuffs. I'm going to get rid of them and head west.
You've got ideas?
Yes. We passed a well-built cabin on the way down here about a mile out of town, remember?
Yeah, I remember. We passed south, so we wouldn't go too close to it.
A cabin like that has to have tools. We're sure to find a file or something that'll cut these. We'll get everything we want. Listen close. Here's how we'll do it.
Well, hello, Sergeant Preston. I'm glad to see you and King.
Glad to see you, Gus.
Sergeant Preston, I've got some big news for you.
Yeah?
I sure have. See that there gun belt on the counter?
Yes?
That belonged to Squint Baxter. I captured him. I'm going to hang that on the wall with a big sign stating that the crook was captured by Gus Popple.
You captured him?
I sure did last night.
Where is he now?
Well, I reckon he's already on his way to Whitehorse in the custody of Constable Smith.
Constable Smith? Guess there were no members of the force in this area last night, and there is no Constable Smith.
What does that mean?
Well, Baxter was traveling with 2 other crooks, and they had a stolen uniform with them. I think they pulled the wool over your eyes, Gus. You know, this gun belt has been worn for a long time. King should be able to pick up a scent from it.
You think you can trail those crooks?
I don't know, but we'll try. First, I'll have to go up to the Howards and get my team and sled. Then we'll come back here, pick up the scent, and start from here. Meantime, take mighty good care of this gun belt. Come on, King.
Tarnation. I already had that reward money spent.
We're much obliged to you, ma'am.
Oh, don't mention it, Constable. I'm glad to help. Our son belongs to the force. His name is Jim Howard. Maybe you know him.
Howard? Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure, I know him. Oh, what? I'll bet he wouldn't be careless enough to lose a handcuff key.
Oh, that could happen to anyone.
You know, if I'd taken this man all the way to Whitehorse with these handcuffs too tight, I'd have been charged with mistreating a prisoner. Oh, Mrs. Howard.
Yes?
That dog team and sled out back. Do they belong to your husband?
Oh, no. No, they belong to Sergeant Preston. He left them here while he went to Crossover. Oh, I should have thought of him. You know, he'll be back soon, and he'll have a handcuff key. Now, maybe you'd rather wait.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I'll just see what I can do here.
Preston's coming. Get that woman in here. Tie her to a chair and gag her so she can't warn him.
King, run around the back and waken the team. Mrs. Howard. Mrs. Howard.
Get his handcuff. I've got it, Squint.
Hurry up.
This must be it.
King, let him up. Come on, Baxter, get over there. Move. Are you all right, Mrs. Howard?
Here's the key, Sergeant Preston.
Oh, thanks,
It was
Mary.
under the table, as you thought.
And, Sergeant, would you be after doing us a favor and tell Jim hello for us?
You know I will, Matt. And you can do me a favor. The next time you go into Crossover, tell Gus he'll get the reward, will you?
Reward?
He'll understand. Goodbye, Mary.
Bye, Sergeant Preston.
Well, King, this case is closed. Fight!